How to move from worker to owner. That's the subject of this month's newsletter. This is really a tricky thing. There are so many people out there who are becoming small business owners because they have something that they do really well. They're a great technician, so to speak, and they figure, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. They either decide they don't want to work for someone else, that they understand their clients better and they think they can deliver to their needs, or maybe they've been downsized and they found it difficult to find another position, so they decided, what the heck, might as well take my skills and use them to make a living. And it's all great. I think it's wonderful. A lot of it's going on. I think it's small business that's going to return the economy to a place that's flourishing. But we run risk when we become an owner after being a worker that we don't necessarily understand all of the aspects involved in owning a business. And one of the biggest is how we communicate with our clients. So this is a really big thing for me because I think what happens is that we're so good at knowing what we do and we don't take the time to learn effective methods for setting expectations and consequences with our clients so that we're all on the same page, so to speak. And this is one of the most important parts of being successful, because what you don't want to have happen is that you start, going down the road and you know what you're talking about and you know what you can do and you know what you mean, but you haven't really articulated that to your client and they have a completely different understanding. This happens in all kinds of industries. It happens with virtual assistants a lot, and there's a lot of virtual assistants cropping up out there. And it's an interesting thing, you go from being very good at the clerical stuff or maybe the social media stuff to now having to interact with the clients on a daily or weekly basis. And if there's ever a difference of opinion of what the expectation is, it can really cause a problem. Then the other thing that happens is if there does become a problem, even after you think you've communicated effectively, how you communicate then. You can't make excuses, you can't, blame a situation, you really have to face it up front. So let's talk about some ways that we can position ourselves as owners, as entrepreneurs, and not just workers. The first is to set our parameters. So take a look at what you do, the technical stuff, the actual, revenue generating function, and list it out. These are the things I do. This is my level of understanding and my level of expertise. This is what I charge for them. Get it on paper, have a very clear vision of what you do and what you don't do. It's okay to say to somebody, that's not one of my areas of expertise. It's better to say that than to say, oh, sure, and think you can go learn it and then be learning on your client's dime. It's not a very good idea and tends to not work real well. The second part is to put down on paper what you want to accomplish in the relationship. So things like you want to make a reasonable profit on doing the work, not a problem. You want continued business from the client, absolutely. You want referrals from the client. You want testimonials. You want them to speak highly of you and to recommend you to the people that they know. And maybe you want to grow your business. Maybe you want to bring in more people under you who do the technical things so you can do more of the management and leadership and business owner kinds of things. Okay, great. Maybe you don't. Get it all down on paper. Be very clear about what it is. And then put together a scope of work document. Do a sample one. Have someone work with you to say, here's what I need, and practice creating a document that's going to give you guidelines for what you're going to do, how your client's going to pay you, what that relationship is going to look like. This is a critical piece of being an owner and not just a worker, because you have the responsibility of making sure that everyone's on the same page. It's not your client's job. You don't have workers working for you. You're going to be doing the work. You got to get this done. Even if you do have people working for you, it's equally important. Everyone has to know what the expectation is. So the best way to do it is create some templates, create some documents that spell out timelines, they spell out what you need from the client. A lot of times we need something from our client in order to be able to do the work. Have in there Resolution. What happens if the client's not happy? What happens if you're not happy? You're not getting the information you need from the client. Having that all spelled out will help you define the relationship when you sit down with a client so that you can be sure everyone's on the same page and everything's going to be done effectively and everyone will be happy. That's really, at the end of the day, the key. You want to enjoy what you do. You want your clients to be happy with the result. So keep all those things in mind and do them ahead of time. You save yourself a lot of aggravation. It's really hard to go backwards on something. And the good thing is you can start it at any time. You don't have to say, oh, well, I already started my business a year ago and I wasn't doing this kind of thing. Not a problem. Implement now. It's a new policy. It's a new procedure. You're fine-tuning your organization. You're stepping it up a notch. You're professionalizing and systematizing your business so that it's more effective for your clients. There's plenty of ways to describe what you're doing, and you can do it at any time in your business. So take a look at your relationship with your clients. Ask yourself a critical question. Are you communicating effectively with them? Would they say that you're communicating effectively with them? And if you can point to any relationships with clients where they weren't happy and they didn't feel like they were getting from you what you said you were going to give, then you probably owe it to yourself and your business to go through this process and get all these things down in writing for the next go around. Hope that's helpful. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me at my email or give me a call on my phone. You'll see that information in the next segment. And by all means, give it a shot and let me know how it goes. Thanks.